What is it, my ducks and drakes? Welcome to the Crowded Lake, and today we're going to be reading Chapter 2 of What is Purple Without Blue, a Standard Sides fanfic by Lunar68Eclipse on Wattpad. If you'd like to read this one for yourself, support the author, or read along, you could get the link to the fanfic and to the author themselves in the description below. With that being said, we can start with Chapter 2, Awake and a Plan. As the four sides waited for the youngest to wake up, they noticed that he grew up with the rest of them. Patton made many changes, including tampering with their minds. Genus was not as powerful as he used to be. Now that the side was fueled, his power was gone. Logan forgot about his brother. He knew he had one, just didn't know who. And he didn't really care now that his main priority was Thomas. Roman forgot all about Virgil entirely, and now the mindscape was set into two, the dark sides and the light sides. Genus and Remus knew. They knew everything. They visited Virgil in his sleeping prison every day, telling him about what's been going on. They knew he couldn't hear them, but at least they felt some security. Remus didn't know everything about who the king was. He only shared some memories. He knew how important Logan and Virgil were to him, and he always wanted to know why, but with Patton tampering with all of Logan's memories, he could never find out. Genus was a mess, always wondering when he was going to wake up or if he'll remember anything. Did Patton tamper with his memory as well? He wanted answers, but he couldn't get them. 2 years later, it was time. Virgil was now 14 and was going to wake up. Remus and Genus were in the room with him that whole day, and when it became night, something happened. JJ, you haven't slept. You don't want to worry as soon as he wakes up, don't you? I'm fine. Just let me see him, okay? Genus snapped at him. He was out of it. He's been dozing off that whole day. Remus conjured up a chloroform and towel. Even though he was intrusive thoughts, he still cared about people and wanted to help the best he could. Genus knew what he was doing and tried fighting it, but was quickly surrendered to sleep. When Remus came back after putting Genus to sleep, he sat in a chair waiting for something, anything, to happen. A few hours later, Remus started dozing until he saw something. He looked up and saw purple and black dancing around the ceiling. He couldn't tell if he was hallucinating, but he hoped he wasn't. Soon, the mist danced and swirled onto Virgil, covering his body. Remus got up and ran over to his side. "Please wake up, please wake up, please wake up," he chanted under his breath. His eyes lit up, and he almost jumped onto Virgil when he saw his eyes twitch. Virgil's eyes slowly opened, and he looked over at Remus, who was almost bouncing from excitement. He slowly sat up in his bed, looking around, not seeming to recognize the room. "Papa?" he asked, his voice hoarse and tired. "Ivy," Remus shouted, unable to contain his excitement. Virgil looked over at him, his eyes slowly growing wider. "Remus?" he asked. Remus, not giving it a second thought, jumped into Virgil in a tight hug. "You remember? Holy shit," he shouted. Virgil seemed surprised. That surprise slowly turned into confusion. "Where's Lo?" he asked, looking at Remus. His face slowly turned serious, which startled the anxious side. "Maybe we can tell you tomorrow," Remus sighed. His gloominess quickly turned back to happiness. "I have so much to tell you," he shouted, getting up. Virgil looked down and seemed surprised about how much he'd changed. "Oh, right, yeah. You've been out for 2 years because of that fart," Remus said nonchalantly. Virgil looked confused and then terrified. I've been asleep for 2 years," he shouted. Remus smiled, quickly turned into reassurance. Hey, it's okay. You've still had some influence on Thomas while you were out. Nothing bad happened to him. Remus said. Virgil loosened a little. Oh, okay, he sighed. The next morning, Remus was showing Virgil around the house after spending the rest of the night how to eat, stand, and walk again. When Janice woke up, he quickly remembered what happened and ran out into the kitchen. He saw Virgil sitting down on the stool while Remus was making oatmeal for breakfast. Janice's eyes teared up. Virgil, he gasped. Virgil turned around as fast as he could, remembering his voice oh so well, remembering all the times that voice reassured him of his actions, told him he mattered, and protected him. His eyes welled up with tears as he ran over to Janice, almost collapsing on the other side. Papa, Virgil yelled as they fell to the ground, both sobbing with tears of joy. Remus standing off to the side, taking pictures. After that reunion, they all sat down at the table to discuss important matters, to discuss what happened after the split. Patton tampered with Roman and Logan's mind, saying that they were light sides and how they didn't need to remember something that harmed the host, Remus explained. So, Logan doesn't remember me? Virgil asked, his eyes glossy. He looked down. Janice put a hand on Virgil's back. Me and Remus have tried finding ways to make them remember, but without proof they won't believe us, Janice added. Virgil's head slowly came up with his eyes wide. Now you do, he mumbled. How? Remus asked, taking a bite of his oatmeal with fish and hot sauce. Me. You have me now. I'm up now. They could remember me, Virgil exclaimed. Realization grew on the other two sides. You're right, Janice agreed, getting up from a seat. All we have to do now is just show you to them and they'll remember. Remus cheered. Possibly, Janice said. They might think it is a trick. Well, I'll power you, right? Your power should be spiked. You could make them believe, Virgil explained. Janice perked a smile. Well then, we have a plan, Janice smiled. We'll show you to them at lunch. Why so long? Remus replied. Why are you making us wait? So we can see the world crumble under Patton's feet when he sees that you're back. Jesus, Virgil mumbled under his breath. Plus, I think Thomas is filming a video then. What? Virgil asked. You didn't tell him? Janice questioned to Remus, rubbing in between his eyes. I may have forgotten that he's a Viner, okay? Remus replied as he took another bite. Later that day at lunch, their plan was set, and if they played their cards right, then it should work, right? And that is all for today. Thank you so much for listening. If you'd like to support my channel, the best way you could do that is by subscribing. I love making these videos, and I'm hoping to continue them in the future with you. If you'd like to support the author, once again, that is in the description below, both the link to their book and the link to their page. If you'd like to see more fics like this, you can recommend it in the Google form below, as well as visit my other social medias. Once again, thank you for watching, and much like Remus trying to explain Virgil 2 years of lore, do your best.